So, given it may be wet, thought I'd just quickly do a very quick wet video. I'm not going to play it through on board. Brake bias 64, yada yada yada, same. But do drive the track slightly differently in the wet. So I figured I'd do a quick video on the wet. Point to note is you've got to stay off as many curbs as you can, especially on the exits. The green stuff's slippery as hell. And your brake markers don't change that much because you're traveling slightly slower anyway. So it's not like you have to brake a whole heap earlier. You just got to be a little bit clever with how you brake. So up into one, fifth gear limiter, as I said, a little bit slower. You can see brake point wise, it's a smidge earlier into one than what it was in the dry, but only by a little bit, not by much. So down to third still, so you still should use third gear through here, and keep it off the white line. So I think I might just touch the white line a little bit here, and it gets a little bit of a slide into it. But if it does, don't panic. Just let it do its thing. So yeah, just nice and smooth down the brakes. That's a pretty clean one. You can get over the apex curbs. It's still not an issue at this track, but you want to try and stay off the exit curbs. Okay, so what you will find is that there is a little bit more grip on the inside. So where it's not shiny, there will be more braking grip. But a corner like this, you can't be narrow because this is going to hurt your exit. So find your brake spot, stop the car nicely, and then smooth and patient. As you can see, just trying to stay off that curb as best you can. If you remember the dry video, you're right up here, obviously. This one here, I'm just trying to keep it nice and narrow so I can get back to full throttle as early as I possibly can. You see, I just had a little lift over the painted curb. So just up through your gears, up into sixth. So you can see, if anything, I'm braking slightly deeper here than what I was in the dry. Not by much, but yeah, sort of bang just there. I think in the dry I may have been back, and I was sort of saying I was still a little bit defined. I think I was probably around about there-ish in the dry. But again, you're carrying less speed into here. So again, it's down to second gear again, but really nice and calm on the downshifts, and just focus on modulating your pedal, trying to find that peak before you get in locking. If it does lock, ABS it. Just come off the pedal, grab the pedal again. Don't try and just jam your foot harder on it, hoping it's going to stop, because it's not. So yeah, nice and smooth. So you can see straight up to a decent pressure, but you can see I just modulate initially so I don't lock a brake. And then, so I'll just play that back slowly for you. That's what I do. But when I first hit the pedal, I don't want to lock, so I'll come up and then back down a bit and then start grabbing the pedal again. And then just try and maintain that nice consistent pedal without locking on the way in. I'm dragging throttle a little bit there accidentally, but that's just kind of what I do sometimes. But yeah, down to second gear here. So you can see again, I'm slightly inwards of the line. So normally, obviously, you'd be out here. Trying to just keep it a little bit in and just focusing on getting the car stopped. Now, if you overrun this corner, it's not an issue because there's plenty of grip out there. So if you feel like you can't stop the car, don't just jump on the brakes to try and pull it up because you're going to lock. Just let the car run wide. Turn the steering wheel. There's plenty of grip out there and you'll get a relatively good exit, as opposed to trying to stop the car earlier. You get on the brakes harder and you just lock the brake. So just don't panic if you feel like you're running deep. If there's a car in front of you, different story, you're going to hit it. But if you're sort of on your own, feel free just to let the car run a bit longer and then turn it in. You might lose time, but you're not going to lose as much time as locking the brake and sending it right off the end of the straight. So get the car rotated in, up onto the curb, and then just, again, you can get in the throttle pretty early. You just got to make sure you don't over-rotate it on the curb. If you pick up too much throttle there, it'll just spin the whole thing around. So nice and smooth on the throttle. Use a bit of exit, get the car straight, and then get on the loud pedal as you come down the hill. So you can see I'm just using a little bit more mid-track as opposed to dry line. I'm in quite narrow here and quite narrow as I come into here. Reason being, I'm just chasing the grey. Yeah, grey is grip, shiny is not. So yeah, just running a little bit more mid-track than I normally would. Down into here. So again, hold 5th, don't go to 6th. And again, braking marker, pretty similar to the dry, not too different, but I'm sort of just past the curb. And again, I'm getting in towards mid-track here. I'm not using any of this, just too slippery, can't do it. So yeah, get the car. Again, you want the car braking pretty nice and straight, but definitely coming down here, you can see I'm sort of hunting in towards the grey here. But the steering wheel's still straight while I'm doing it. It's starting to turn in a bit, but car is straight. Down to 2nd gear, I had a little bit of a slide there, but again, meh, don't worry about it. So you can see shiny and grey. That's what I was saying before. If you do feel like you're running a bit deep, don't worry about it. Just start turning the car in towards the corner. Don't try and grab more pedal, and let the car run out to the grey. It'll grip up. It might understeer, and then it'll bang. It'll grab. So don't be too worried about it. You can see line-wise, pretty similar to the dry there for me. So yeah, 2nd gear, like I said, we'll just run this through. It's a bit hard to see the car. It's angling in, a little bit of a rear lock. So again, you're chasing the grey. God, these things look good in the wet. But yeah, chasing the grey there. You don't want to be in the shiny stuff, and you certainly don't want to be in here anywhere around obviously the inside, or anywhere where tracks can bring in. It's just puddles, so you're gonna light them up pretty bad. But yeah, you definitely want to sit in the grey, and you can get through there flat. I'm sort of just balancing the throttle a little bit. Down to 4th gear, down to 3rd here. This is where I was saying on the dry track that the setup is a bit uncomfortable for me. It feels like a wet set, and here is where the set comes into its own. It's got a lot of grip, a lot of rotation in it. So for a wet weather dock, it's really strong. Whether it was built that way or not, I don't know, but it actually feels really good in the front. And does its job. So this is a section where you can lean on it a little bit more, and definitely push in here. But brake marker is fairly similar. Pushing the wrong button. Similar to the dry 100 marker. Again, not using the curbs. And this is where the lines change a little bit as well. So down to 3rd gear, and you can send it in fairly deep here, but you want to turn the car in and get it up towards the curb as well. But you will find that the outside line will work a bit as well. So don't be afraid to sort of try and get around the outside of someone here. There's probably a good opportunity for it. But again, get in nice and narrow. You can see the extra water there, but it doesn't seem to really upset the car on the inside there. It's not too bad. Balance the throttle again, and sort of get on the throttle as much as you can, as early as you can, with a bit of slide, nothing wrong with that. And just stay off the curb. So you can see I'm running it quite narrow. Same down the hill, similar brake marker towards the end here. And then again, you can pitch it in. So see again, so it's all got grey in here. That's where the grip is. Out here there isn't, but then it transitions up here. So you can see all of a sudden the inside is a bit shiny and the outside is a bit grey. So again, you can drive the car in pretty hard here, and it might get a bit of push in the middle, but it'll grip on the outside there. So sort of drive it down. I hold it fairly narrow, bit of a slide there, but that's just because of that puddle coming across the track here. So yeah, look, hold it fairly narrow, but I just sit high of the puddle on the curb on the inside. You don't want to be up too much on that, because it will light the rears up pretty bad. Yeah, like I said, bit of a slide. That's right. Just as long as you stay in the loud pedal, it's all good. Bit of a balance on the throttle there. And then it's just flat chat down through here. Set feels really good here as well. So again, staying off the lines, and you'll notice back there, obviously, big difference in the dryer over here. Stay off it. Down into here, brake marker is really similar. So, yep, sort of just before the 100 board. Down to third, some may use, I don't know if you can hear that, my cat's jumping everywhere. Some may use fourth here still in the wet. I'm using third. And yeah, down to third, and you get the car. It actually turns in again really well here. And you can get it up. I was a bit wider. I tried a slightly wider line this time, but you can get it up over the curb here and it's completely fine. I tried to just push a little bit deeper in and use the grey to catch the car. Like I was saying earlier, don't be too worried about it, but you can see it just supports it. And again, staying off the white line and off the red. So the risk you run here is getting a bit understeer as you come off the curb, and it may push you a bit wide. But yeah, definitely want to stay off that curb. And then down into here, haven't really got quite right yet, but I feel like I'm a bit slow. But there is an awkward spot here, so it's third gear still. Okay, so off the back, there's a little bit of a puddle here that can catch the car and just spit it sideways. And then you don't want to get out to the curb on the outside. So you just got to find that happy balance of how much pace do you want to carry in. As you can see, you don't have a lot of grey to catch you on the exit. So it's not like you can overdrive it, but see how you go with it. Sorry. See how you go with it. Might be able to carry a little bit more speed than I am in here. I do feel like I'm under driving it a bit, but it's helping the exit. So third gear still, like I said, nice over the curb, and pick up the throttle early. You can see the slide in the car the whole time. Nothing wrong with that. But you're staying, look how, that's just all shit. You'll just be in the inside fence if you try and use any of that with that amount of water on it. So you can see, just stay off it all the way. And yeah, it'll help you survive a little bit. Now that's on, it's hard to get a gauge of where everyone is at with track states and lap times and all that crap, especially when it's like this. But I mean, that was on 67% track wetness, 18.4 air and 16.1 track temp. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm going to get around it. It is only early, obviously. It's only early in the week. But yeah, like I said, bias-wise, just left it where it was for the dry run. You may want to move that back a little bit if you're struggling with front lock, obviously. Or if you want a little bit more rotation, then you can potentially dial it forward if you can stop the car well enough to keep the weight on the nose. But like I said, stay off the curbs where you can. Apex curbs aren't really a big issue, but definitely the exit curbs. Chase the grey, as you can see everywhere. Plenty of grey on the track. Brake markers don't change much because your overall top speeds are slightly down anyway. But yeah, just have a bit of a play with it and explore the track limit so you can see the grey through there, but we don't go to it. Again here, keep it off the line. Put the grey through the middle, keep it off the line. So the grey, just on the edge of it. Running a bit narrow up into here. Stay off the white line. The grey catcher. And yeah, that's a lap of Red Bull in the wet. Wet weather racing is really just about keeping it on track and being smart, and you'll make up a ton of spots. So all good, have fun.